Hey guys, my name is Ruxandra and this is UT Journeys, the podcast where we invite ambitious students and hear more about their student life, extracurriculars, and most importantly, how you can enhance your study journey. I am wondering, how many associations are you in? One? Maybe two? Well, today's guest is involved in 5 different associations. And not just attending, but also as an active member, being either part of the board or different committees. Today, I'm talking to Duru Sucaklı, and we will find out her secret to being involved in so many activities while also handling your study. Hi Duru, welcome to UT Journeys.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Well, let's get right in. You are in 5 different associations at the moment, that's right?
Yes, true.
Which ones are those?
Okay, here's the first one. It's my study association because, of course, I like to enjoy my study and a study association is a great way. It's Alembic because I study chemical engineering. And I also do culture and sports. And I do 2 dance associations here in UT. And these are Break Even, which is the Breakdance and Hip Hop Dance Association, and Primo Ballerino, which is the Ballet Association. And I also play korfball with Wakerricht. And I am also a part of AJ, which is a student association here, but they also have like their sections all around the Europe.
Nice. I was wondering when we were preparing for you coming here, how does someone join both ballet and hip hop? They seem like pretty different dance styles.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I didn't join hip hop until I came here, but I did ballet before coming here, and I actually was a ballet teacher before, and I did a lot of certificate examination and stuff. So I think of myself as a really ballet enthusiast in that sense. But for hip hop, it was definitely a very, very new thing to me. And I first saw them in Kikin the first day when I was overwhelmed with everything around me that's happening. And they seemed like a really nice group of people who just enjoy dancing. So I thought to myself, why not just try and see how it goes? And I wanted to do something new when I came here. I didn't just want to stick to my old routine. And hip hop was a really good way of doing that. And then after I joined an open class, I fell in love with it. I really, really enjoyed doing hip hop. So I really enjoyed it so much that I decided to join the board, of course, because I wanted to help the association that gave me that atmosphere that made me realize I enjoyed dancing so much. And yeah.
That sounds like such a nice thing to say, I'm joining the board because I want to give back to the association. That's the first time I'm hearing someone talk that way about becoming bored, you know? Sometimes people say, I like this association so much, I want to be bored. But you're putting it in a different way.
Yeah, because the first time I saw the association, I just saw the board and I saw how much work they put into and what they gained from that experience. And I saw how much people around them that were enjoying themselves because of the board. And I wanted to feel the same way, and I wanted to accomplish something in that association that will make that atmosphere go on.
You also mentioned you are playing korfball.
Yes, I do.
What is korfball for the international students that are not familiar with it?
Yeah, basically it's very much like basketball, but also very different actually, because you play with a team of 6 people, and it's actually a mixed gender sport. So you play with 3 girls and 3 boys on the same team. But you can also only defend against your own gender. So it's in that sense a bit complicated with the rules. And the goal is just kind of like basketball, but instead of dribbling the ball, you pass it around. So it becomes of a sense you can just create open play, just pass it around the ball, create a weakness in the other team's defenses. So it's not exactly like basketball, but it's more you have to be agile.
Yeah. Quick.
Yes.
This seems I'm trying to catch on because it seems you are in ballet and hip hop and korfball, which seems I don't know, quite a peculiar sport.
Mm-hmm.
how did you get in associations in your first year?
Yeah, of course, like I think like everyone, my first encounter with all the all the associations was just kicking. But I was very, very overwhelmed with everything I saw, of course, because you just have a lot of associations and they all want you to come and join them. But yeah, like I mentioned, I joined Break Even because I liked the vibe and I wanted to see how it felt like hip-hop dancing. But I also found out about Apollo, which is the cultural umbrella that like Break Even was under.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Apollo basically holds holds all the cultural associations. So I'm assuming that from being involved in Break Even, you were also more involved in Apollo at the same time. Did you also have like a special position in Apollo?
Yeah, after my Break Even board, I also did an Apollo board, which just ended around 3 weeks ago.
You are in so many different associations. And like I feel like 5 is quite a big number of associations to be in. Well, technically 4 if we would not count your study associations, but let's say 5.
Mm-hmm.
What is the story of you joining the associations like at the beginning of your study or in your first year? Like how did you join so many associations and not just 1 or 2?
Yeah, basically I was very overwhelmed during the first day of Kickin', seeing all the associations and all the different things I could do. But like I said, I wanted to try new things, so I was open to new ideas. And that's when I saw Break Even for the first time. And then I decided to join their open class because they seemed really enthusiastic about what they were doing. And then I was also just cruising around and I spotted a few associations, but I didn't join them right away. Except also with ballet because I was doing ballet before I came here. So I wanted to continue doing that. And like for AJ, actually, I didn't even join like during the kick-in. I joined AJ last year because I finally thought I wanted to join that. I wasn't sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, for my study association, yes, I joined during the kick-in. Of course, I wanted to be the same as my other peers in the first year, and a study association is a really nice way to just get to know all the people there.
Yeah.
So I also just joined that right away. And for the corporal association, I also joined last year, actually. Like, I knew about it before during the kick-in, like my first kick-in.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think about joining. I just thought, oh, what a nice sport. Maybe I will do this later. And then that later was last year. So I finally joined that as well.
I see. Did you have more time last year? Or like what exactly made you join, for example, more associations later, like last year?
Yeah, last year was my full-time board year with Apollo. That's why I didn't have a lot of courses that I had to do. I just had a few resets from my second year. So I had a lot of free time that I could use for like an association, I thought. So I decided to join some things that I would like that were in the back of my head for some time. And I'm definitely glad that I joined both.
Nice. You said you were board of Apollo.
Yes.
What position did you have in the board?
I was the secretary.
The secretary. And other than, of course, being the secretary of Apollo, were you involved in the association in another ways?
Yes, during my first year, I organized the Apollo Dance Show, which is a dance show for all the dance associations here in UT. Like, they can just do dances, they can do whatever they want, and then you can just watch various different styles. So it's a really nice way to kind of combine all the dance here in UT.
Yeah.
And I was the chair of that committee in my first year because I wanted to do something new. I wanted to like take on more roles in that sense. And then in that committee, there was this one person. No, sorry, not that committee. I was also in like the Lost Room committee because Lost Room was like a really different thing to me. I didn't know what that was, and I wanted to do something about it, and it seemed fun. And in the Lustrum committee, there was this person, Rian. By that time, she was the current board of Apollo. And she saw like the enthusiasm in me and the fact that I really liked culture and everything. And she predicted, she said to me that, okay, you seem really enthusiastic. So I know that you're going to do like a cultural board next year. And then the year after, you're going to do Apollo board. And at that time, I was like, yeah, no way. I'm definitely not going to do that. Like, I cannot be bored. I don't want to do it. I don't have that time. Here I am, 2 years later, doing both boards.
That's kind of nice, though.
Yeah, so I don't know how she guessed that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting that she basically looked at you and was like, yeah, you're going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, barely knowing me.
Yeah, nice. And wait, so going back to your board year in Break-Even, there you were chair.
Yes.
What did you gain from that experience? Like, why would you recommend to future students or like future Break-Even members to join the board?
That is a really good question. Like, I didn't know a lot of, like, I was active in different ways, but I was not exactly like active in a sense of doing a board or a committee before coming here. So I was just clueless about like how the background of everything worked here with the associations. And now I really have like a good grasp of like what you need to do and how to organize events or like how to chair meetings, for example. Like I didn't think I could do that. Like before coming here, I didn't take on any leadership roles. So that was a first for me. And that's why I also wanted to do chair. I wanted to challenge myself to do that. Because I'm not exactly a really like dominant person, let's say it like that. So I was thinking of like, okay, how do I chair a meeting? Like, do I just tell shut up to people that are like just talking while we're not in that point, or just an irrelevant thing? So like I kind of found myself and like how I would do certain things in the future. Like I just got that experience. And I feel like it's better to learn now how to do these things than in the future when you actually have to do those things without any help. Also, of course, like the advisory board and like people around me really helped. And I don't think you can get that anywhere else if you're not doing these kinds of things in university. So I felt like I kind of had like a head start into like how I can do a job.
Yeah.
Like but just a basic part of a job.
It seems like from what you're saying, if I'm understanding correctly, it feels like a more fun way of gaining skills that you are going to need in your job later on, like in any job, but like while being with people that are maybe more open-minded, and it's maybe the responsibility is also not that heavy on your shoulders, I'm imagining.
Yes, well, definitely.
As a board, like as a first-time board, I imagine the pressure, maybe it's for some people huge. But like you're still bored for something that you enjoy. So for something that you love, in this case for Break-Even. So, yeah. You mentioned before that you're also part of AJ.
Yes.
Can you tell us in like 1 or 2 sentences what is AJ?
AJ is the European Students Association, basically. And they have like just sections all around Europe. And then like, for example, we have in Netherlands, there is like one in Eindhoven, there is one in like Groningen, Nijmegen, like all around. And in here, like we just kind of meet up with a group of friends, just just have a drink or two on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and just have fun, and also meet with other people from like all around Europe in certain events, like the last Agora, for example, from Asia, Europe.
What is the last Agora?
Yeah, the Agora from Asia, Europe is basically like a general members assembly that we have in the associations here. But instead of just having that one association, we have the whole Asia, Europe sectors that can join. And like you basically kind of discuss policy plans, you would discuss financial plans. Like it's just a general meeting to keep track of like what happens inside the Asia, Europe. And I was in the chair team of that Agora, which was also a really new experience for me because I did it in my first year of joining Asia, which not a lot of people do it like that. The chair team was basically responsible in organizing like the meeting aspect of this of the Agora. So like we met in Novi Sad, Serbia, for this, and then we just kind of organized the secretaries, like how to like who takes minutes, what happens with the recording devices, or like for example we had an IT responsible that was responsible for like the beamer and the presentations and everything that was going on there. We also had the real chairs that were chairing these entire meetings. And like the Agora lasted for 7 days. So we needed a lot of organizational things to figure out. And I was one of the job shadowers, which meant I just kind of took on a task whenever I was needed because I didn't like know a lot of things. So I just wanted to help whenever I can. And that really worked out because in IT, I guess you don't need that much skills. And I already had some, so I just did a lot of ITing, for example. Or like we had question lines to like just record all the questions that were asked in that like meeting. And like you just have a laptop there and people write that questions in your laptop. I was also there a couple of times. I just lended people my laptop. It worked out fine. And overall, yeah, of course, like during the day you do the meeting, but after the day you just go party, which is more fun.
How many people join that big Agora, like approximately?
I think it was around 250, 300 people.
Damn.
Yeah, and the chair team was like 5 people. So it's a lot of organizational work. But I was also really like lucky in the sense that the chair team already did one Agora before me.
Yeah.
Before I joined AJ. So they already knew a lot of things. So they did their best to do the knowledge transfer to me, and that really helped. So like I also wanted to be active in AJ in that sense. Like I said, I want to be active in every association I join because I want to get to know people and learn in the process. Why not?
Are there any opportunities for students that are offered by AJ?
AJ has a couple of mailing lists that you can subscribe like once you become a member of AJ. And sometimes you just get these external opportunities or like some meeting, some like workshop that you can join. Like it doesn't have to be just AJ Enschede. There are like a lot of locals around that they like just organize an event and they invite other people to join. So it's a really nice way to just meet new people as well.
Did you join any such events?
Yes, I did. It was one of the external opportunities that I received in the mail. It was the UN Economic Conference. I have to...
UN.
Yeah, it's
UN
a really
Economic
mouthful.
Commission for Europe.
Yes.
Regarding Regional Forum for Sustainable Development. You can read it.
That thing.
Yeah.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I joined the UN Economic Commission for Europe Regional Forum for Sustainable Development Conference. And basically what this entailed was we had 2 half days that were virtual and 1 full day that was actually not virtual. It was in Geneva, Switzerland, in the UN headquarters. And this event was basically a youth assembly that you could join with a lot of like different youth organizations all around Europe to kind of have a say in the Sustainable Development Goal agenda of UN. And the first 2 virtual days was just kind of like an introduction and like just to get to know people and everything. And the third day in Geneva was actually the whole conference, and like we just started with some video explaining the Sustainable Development Goals and everything. And then there were like a few high up positioned people from UN like just came to answer our questions, to ask us stuff. Like, for example, the executive secretary of UN, I think. Yeah, so it was a really good opportunity to like ask any questions or like state your opinion of what you want to achieve by 2030 agenda for the Sustainable Development Goals. And the goals that we focused were no poverty, which is the first one, zero hunger, the second one, partnership for goals, which is the 16th one.
Mm-hmm.
One more. Yeah, and one more that climate action, 13th, I think. Maybe I am a bit wrong, but yeah, like the numbering doesn't matter. These are the things that we focused on. And basically, like the first half of the day was just people answering questions that we asked. And the second half of the day was just kind of like a round the table that we had with different sustainable development goals, and just we discussed what we wanted to achieve by 2030 and what we wanted to write in the minutes of like this whole conference to be sent to the actual UN conferences that are like happening at that moment. Because this was not like the real conference exactly, but it was the youth assembly. So the real conference happened right after, like one day after this whole thing. But unfortunately, I had an exam, so I couldn't join that one.
But you had the possibility to also join that one.
Yeah. Like if I could sign up, I would have joined that one too.
Do you need like any qualification to join any such event, like or like any event from AJ?
No, definitely not.
Just
like
your
you
will.
don't need any experience, because people around you will usually either tell you, like they just will do a knowledge transfer if they need you to do something at that point, or usually you can just listen and then like you really don't need any experience to do anything.
So
which is what I liked about just like the whole activism here. Like you can just start from scratch with nothing, and then you can just go like develop along the way, and then you can take on many tasks as you wish, or just go to events like that, like the Agora or the UN conference.
Yeah. You mentioned a couple of times that you were also very active before coming here.
Yes, I was.
How active were you back in Turkey?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I did ballet before, and actually I started ballet when I was 7, so it has been quite some time. And I stayed in this one particular dance school. So I became really friends with the teacher at that point. And like just all the people, all the students that came. And actually I stumbled upon a really interesting opportunity one day, because I was just out of my ballet exam. And like that ballet school was like a second home to me at that point, because I knew everyone and it just felt like home. So I was just studying there, like just with some friends that were also out of the ballet class. And then our ballet teacher said, "Oh, I'm a little bit sick. Like, can one of you guys take over this while I'm gone for a little bit? Like, I have to take some pills or something like that." Like, she had some reason to leave the classroom. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not, like, I don't have to do this, like, a lot of work. I already studied. I can just look after the class. So I just did that. Like 5 to 10 minutes later, she came back, she thanked me, and then she left. So I was like, okay, this kind of, it was really fun. So I decided to ask her if there were like more opportunities, in the sense that like I could be like an assistant to her and just help with like younger groups or like more beginner groups. And she was like, yeah, sure, I can get all the help I can get.
So basically, now in Primo Ballerino, you were, or you still are, a teacher, or are you just like a member also?
With Primo
practicing?
Ballerino right now, like I'm in advanced, and they are just setting up like a student teacher pool right now, like this year. So I wasn't a teacher right now, but I was also in the GMA, and I asked like, do you need to be invited to join that student teacher pool, or like can you just ask to join? And they said, yeah, you can join if you want to, but of course we will have to approve it. So I think like what I will do is when they set that pool up, I will contact them. I will say like, yeah, I want to join this. I want to help out, and I will hope they will accept me.
Yeah, hopefully so. What did I want? Just a second. Your main study is chemical engineering.
Yes.
It is such a technical study, and I am just wondering how you developed such a creative side of yourself.
Well, I think a lot of people have this type of story, but I didn't start ballet actually on my own. I was forced by my parents because, of course, like parents, they want you to get something, do something with your life, like get a hobby. So like that's when I started, like when I was 7. They just forced me to join. Like I didn't have a choice. So that first year of doing ballet, like I was forced into it. But after that, I felt like I really enjoyed it. So then it was not a force anymore. It was just my own choice of being there. So like that's when I started ballet. And like our ballet teacher was also like enthusiastic about music and everything, because of course you need to know music to be a ballet teacher. So like she also started reaching out to like other teachers, like piano teachers, like guitar teachers, to give lessons inside the ballet school because we had a studio. And that's when I started joining one of them. I started playing piano because I was in the ballet studio anyway. I could just do 1 hour of my life and then play piano. Why not? Yeah, like then I started like piano, and then my teacher realized that I didn't know how to look at the notes, but I could just like guess them from heart or just by hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he was like, oh yeah, you should like start singing in a choir or something, because I didn't know the notes, but I had like that music talent. So then I started like a choir in my like school. And we also had like a mandatory club hour in our school, which basically meant like we just had like a 35 different clubs, like the associations here. Mm-hmm. But instead of them like you choose and then you join, you had to do one thing in my school. And like that's when I started doing like musical theater, drama, because I realized I kind of had a talent in like that part of culture.
Yeah.
So then I got it like into this whole thing.
And then somehow that translated into break even at university. So like that's completely opposite if you think about it.
Yeah, break even, I definitely was not expecting to join. Like I wouldn't have imagined me being there before coming here. Yeah. But I am very, very glad it happened, and it was a really good experience.
Yeah, they seem like a very nice association in the sense that I've seen them in O&O Square. They have
we do like ciphers sometimes. Yeah. That just started like recently. So the new board is also doing very good things, and I'm a proud grandma at this point.
That seems like a nice thing to do, because this way people actually see you in action, let's say.
Yeah, because we realized that like during the only time that people see us actually is during the kick-in. And people usually are like very overwhelmed with everything going on that they don't like see just break even. They see the whole kick-in.
That's
so like we just realized, what if we just have a different way of showing what we do?
Yeah. And I think it works.
I mean, I heard really good, like positive reviews most of the time, yeah. like people just join, people vibe with like the break-even people. So I think it was a really nice idea.
Yeah. You did mention shortly when we like just met today that you also did the BHV training. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you do the BHV training? Do you do it like for a specific association, or do you do it like in general and you can apply it anywhere?
I mean, I think it's also a general thing, but what I did was I applied it like as a representative of my study association, because like the study associations have drinks, and a drink needs BHVs, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a BHV-C, like the committee,
Yeah.
with a few people that have that like training and certificate that are like allowed to BHV during drinks. And like usually this training is not free. But if you do it on behalf of your study association, then you get it for free because you help your study association. So that's when I thought, oh, it might be nice to just have this around. Maybe I will use it like right now. Maybe I will use it somewhere later. So I just had that, and that was like not even a really time-consuming thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just 2 full days, like 2 Wednesdays back to back. And then like we just had some first aid, like how to like carry a person that is like, I don't know.
Unconscious?
Unconscious, exactly.
Oh my
Or
God.
like how to check if somebody is unconscious, or like how to do CPR and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, that's still
So
useful things to know.
it was an interesting experience.
Yeah. Since we are approaching the end, is there any piece of advice that you'd like to offer to new or upcoming students?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say from my experiences that don't be afraid to try new things and develop yourself with student activism in UT. You will never know who you will meet, and or maybe like you will make a friend for life, of course. And like university here is like, it's a place that you can make a lot of mistakes with not a lot of consequences. So you can enjoy your time here and make a lot of mistakes that you cannot do anywhere else in life.
Actually, you keep... Wait. Actually, you said a couple of times that you emphasized on meeting new people. I imagine you have met a lot of people in the many activities that you have joined. How do I say that? I'm wondering if you think these experiences that you have been through, all these associations and all these events that you either just attended or organized even, could be replaced by anything else. Like, for example, if you just focused fully on your study and not joined these.
Oh, definitely not. Like, I cannot imagine myself not doing anything, because like when I came here, like I was completely in the dark. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything. I was just completely from a blank state. So like what I realized is like, if I'm going to be here, if I'm going to integrate, meeting new people is a really nice way to just like get that ball going. Just find something that you can do. Find a friend group. Like Kick-In also definitely help with that, just to find people. But also like I did a lot of things myself, just joined associations, met as many people as I could. And I think that really helped me in the sense that like I didn't feel alone. And like as I just met a lot of people, like I kind of felt like I belonged in a community here in UT. And I wouldn't have imagined what I would have done if I didn't have like friends here, and not just like close friends or like any friends. I was like very socially not active before coming here. So it was also real like out of my comfort zone, just meeting people. But I really enjoyed doing so. And I felt like it really helped me like in my hard times also. Just I was sometimes depressed because I failed an exam. I just met with friends, just had a few drinks. It was really fun. So I wouldn't have, like, I can't imagine how I would survive without my social life here.
So, my last question for you is, how do you balance everything? I'm imagining from your previous response that it has a lot to do with the support that you get from your friends. And, well, last year you did a board year, so you were maybe a bit more free and you also had just like a couple of receipts. But this year, I imagine you went back to your full study.
Yes, right now I'm doing my third year. So as of the first quartile, I'm doing a minor in condensed matter physics from AT. And I chose it myself, even though I knew it was going to be hard. So I don't have a lot of time. And people that know me a lot usually say that I just create time out of nothing. And I think that's a really good point, because I don't know how I really actually have the time.
You should teach us your secrets.
But I feel like I just do a lot of things last minute, which doesn't help a lot of things. But when I just focus on something, I do that usually. Like, the important thing for me is to just sit down and focus on that task. If I know I have to do it, I will do it.
Makes sense. Well, thank you so much for joining me. It was lovely
No
having
problem.
you. Yeah.